All your little chat logs, that don't mean nothing, bro. I thought you were an adult woman and I was gonna have sex with you.
I've seen a lot of animated web series in my day, even interviewing some of the people behind them. Some meant for a younger audience, and some older. If of course older means saying fuck a lot, seldom do I see an online series that teeters into more scary territory, while still being the type of juvenile humor you see in the likes of Beavis and Butthead. Bridge Kids is a show by Mike Karff and Adam Mekowitz, and this cartoon's been branded in my brain ever since my friend ThatCreepyReading told me about it. He's gonna be in the video. And of course, shout out to the people who at me on social media to get me to talk about stuff like this. Go follow me now. Now, of course, we can't talk about Hell of a Boss and Digital Circus all day, so I'm glad to be branching out to the depths of the internet for shows like this. Hello, I'm Ryan, and we're gonna dive into the twisted world of Bridge Kids. Back in 2021, Mike and Adam made the first episode of Bridge Kids as part of a 48-hour film festival. This short is about friends Fugger and Lars, Fugger and Lars, looking at a dead body, talking about how she died. Simple as.
Wow, she's so peaceful. How do you think she got here?
But when they posted this online, was it the big hit that shot them to the top of indie charts? No, not at all. In fact, when it first posted, it barely got attention at all. Using the Wayback Machine as far back as February 9, 2023, the initial short only got about 1,700 views, and that was 2 years after release. It wasn't until the 7th episode, Stranger Danger, did they rise to fame, with that episode reaching 1.5 million views, and the original hitting 311k. But how did this happen, one might say? Well, I mean, thanks for asking that, but I'm gonna do some guesses for you. Would that help? Interesting thumbnail, title, man, it's set in the series. Meaning you watch this video, go, oh, that's pretty good. Oh wait, there's more episodes? They're actually SVA graduates. For Mike, he's animated on shows like Beavis and Butthead and The Midnight Gospel. For Adam, he worked on the likes of Wolf Boy and The Everything Factory, as well as Saturday Morning All-Star Hits. Also to note, this is not a Kickstarter-funded series. For a lot of works online, you'll see one episode, then they ask for money for episode 2, and he's gonna have to wait to see what happens next. Bridge Kids is rather a passion project done by Mike and Adam, done in their spare time. I'm gonna say that most projects are passion projects. Obviously, you have to have a passion for the fashion of animating. Though they do get support on Patreon, of course, for digital help. Which in the case of Worthy Kids Big Top Burger, it's a series you're most likely to see more of due to the animation style. Alright, obviously one is 2D and the other is 3D, so let me break it down for you for the former. Animating with detailed rigs and drawing with vector-based graphics means you can reuse a lot of objects previously made in the series. This includes backgrounds, you know, the Shore Bridge and Bridge Kids, and those are the kids. Now, of course, this is very suitable for the show, as it's mostly a lot of standing and talking. Deadpan, one would say. I have seen comparisons to the likes of 10-Year-Old Tom as well as home movies, you know, in the naturalistic way of talking. Now, to be clear, this isn't a duo effort, as there are many other wonderful artists adding their hands into the show. Go check out the credits to see all the artists' names. Asking my audience, I got a lot of responses talking about what they thought of the show.
Bridge Kids has such a good sense of awkward humor without being too awkward, and has dumb and comical characters that are still very believable. Extremely well-written show. It's awkward in the best ways possible. The line delivery of almost all the characters is hilarious, and even if an episode takes too long to deliver the main punchline, it's the dialogue that keeps me watching. I hope they add more characters because I like to see more of the world that they live in. It really captures that chill 2000s Adult Swim vibe perfectly. I really like the dialogue and line delivery. They feel very human and almost improvised, but not exactly. Like, very unique and fun show.
Dressed up like Sherlock Holmes.
And no,
more like Sherlock, like Sherlock Homo.
Oh, that's crazy.
The show's 8 episodes revolve around the likes of Fugger and Lars hanging around town, as well as Columbus High School. Fugger is the more uppity nerdy type, with Lars being the calmer and core of the two, though he would often get walked over, with Fugger espousing mostly made-up knowledge to make himself appear smarter.
they proved that on Mythbusters one time.
Mythbusters?
Yeah, Adam pushed Jamie off, and they found
is
that
that?
just 4 coats was enough to have the perfect amount of protection.
The two main antagonists are Mo and Skid, the former being a rapper who vaguely knows about the genre. Skid is the best friend of Mo, seen making fun of those around him and seemingly having a better friendship than Fugger and Lars, noting that Fugger is willing to lie to Lars for no reason, while Mo is willing to back up his friend. Case in point when he saw Fugger in a wheelchair, claiming he's an offensive caricature of his friend.
You know you don't need that, dog. You ain't about that life.
Yeah, you fake as hell, man.
What's with the games, son? Like, I seen you walking like 2 days ago.
I suppose now I can talk a bit more about the twisted world and the humor of the show, you know, the title of the video. Recapping the first episode again, it's the two looking at a dead body, and one might think, it's probably the end of it. No, it's actually a running gag. Seeing the next episode in a magazine, and another, she's still on the street, just never cleaned up. Blood, gore, and emptiness are general motifs seen without the show. Alright, this is not in the same vein as Monster Lab or Digital Circus, where the horror is front and center and the protagonists have to encounter it head on. Rather, the main characters are too stupid to really understand what's going on around them. The Halloween episode, one in which earned the duo an award for Best Short, features a homicidal maniac who clearly killed a local woman, but rather than call the police, the two focus on what they came to the door for: candy.
There, see?
Yeah,
It's all about the uniform.
I told you, the pumpkin. you know?
Though interesting enough, you can see the same woman rig in the next episode. Is it a prequel, or is it a Simpsons Treehouse of Horror where things are not connected? Craft your theories below what you think it is. And if you're liking the video, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on Twitter. General gore aside, the characters are just surrounded by weird people, such as the crack guy who just really wants crack. But Isaiah is a more prominent character in the series. I should probably make it apparent that Columbus High is a parody of Columbine, and the character is a direct reference to the shooting that happened there. You can see a lot of this in Isaiah's room, him mapping out the school, playing Doom, and even having a Joker 2019 poster on his wall. His name would also be a reference to a prophet from the Bible, with the name specifically meaning salvation of the Lord. If that wasn't clear enough, he had actually written a manifesto, and kept thinking that Fugger and Lars were on his side, regarding how he felt about school and those within.
I'll make them know exactly what it's like. I'll show them just how twisted I can be.
Kill Bars is the episode featuring said manifesto, which was accidentally obtained by Mo and Skid. Thinking that they were super cool lyrics that were sent by Eminem, they decided to rap it for everyone.
And the cure for it all is my AR-15 with the 3D printed bump stock and extended magazine.
Damn, he's spitting for real, you know?
Right, I should note, if you haven't noticed already, but Mo is a terrible rapper. Seen in this and many other episodes of him trying to spit lyrical game.
You know, it's kind of like
I'm the best lyrical mastermind in the world.
Like, it's a whole lot more...
This kid's face makes me want to hurl.
Going back to Isaiah, he's portrayed as a loser, even to the likes of the main characters. While attending his birthday party in another episode, they want to leave early. Not for the clear idea that he's a school shooter, but just because the guy sucks. Even making up a reason to leave early, despite being at the party for 5 minutes.
Double booked? What do you mean?
Yeah, I actually have to go to, like, an orthodontist appointment.
Now, a question you might ask is, where the adults? Parents, anyone like that? You do see adults referenced, such as Mr. Foley, but the most you see in terms of speaking roles would be that of Joey Jimenez and Choquette, two energy drink promoters. Well, it's good to actually look up to him as a father figure, assuming they like one of their own. Parents might be a useful thing to have in this town, considering the most famous episode, Stranger Danger. While playing an online game similar to RuneScape, Lars' little brother Mark Anthony got caught up in online mischief. After making a randomized character named Blonde Batty 69, Mark got a hold of the computer, only to run into Mo and Skid playing as a rat first. Venturing off to meet each other, thinking it's something else, the main duo believe that Mark got kidnapped by a person clearly named Rapist. The atmosphere of this mostly empty world pairs with the idea that it's a desolate town, that the characters are in their own little world, going through life with half a brain cell. The hints of the darker aspects are subdued by that fact as well. For the case of the school shooter, the homicidal maniac, and even the general bloodshed, this would be something more contemporary shows would probably like to explore. What the characters are thinking about, how to get out of the situation, or how to stay safe, is not the main focus of these two brainiacs. The emptiness I mentioned before would be vaguely akin to a liminal space, the concept that there's a gap between those inhabiting it and those somewhere off in the distance. Obviously, there are characters there, we see many of them. However, for the case of adults, there is lack thereof. Even the police there just face with beans, only there to stop violence while inflicting their own. The homicidal maniac just runs around killing people. No radio broadcast to warn, he's just there. Never caught, always lurking. The dead woman in the first episode continues to stay rotting. No one ever worries about her. No one even cleaned her up off the streets. Just take a picture of her magazine and move on. I suppose a more apt comparison would be that of Edna and Eddie, a show revolving around young characters in a mostly empty world. In fact, new people don't always show up when the story needs them to. Many theories have been talked about the series, such as it being a dying town. Some of it, I think, can apply to Bridge Kids as well. Again, if this were a traditional horror show, they might explore some of these topics a bit more. But with how dim the characters are, it pushes it more into dark humor. This is what makes the show more endearing in a way. Much in the case of Beavis and Butthead, a show I brought up now 3 times in this video, a lot of the humor comes from misunderstandings, where words and sentences go in one ear and not the other, with only some of the important bits being retained. Citing back to the episode Killer Bars, where Mo's rapping using the manifesto. But to push the joke further, Fugger believes that these lyrics are real and calls the police to shut them down. This leads to a SWAT team literally murdering people, causing this exchange.
There, justice served. That's what happens when you go around threatening other people with violence.
The plight of the world is not in the minds of these two bridge kids. They're just two friends trying to live their life in this awful town. It's a sort of humor I more than often not don't see online as much as I do TV, and I'm always glad when I see it. I can't recommend the show enough, but I also brought my friend TCR to talk about his thoughts on the series as well.
Bridge Kids is a hard show to explain to newcomers, especially those outside of the animation or stoner scene. The jokes can be both a slow burn, taking a while for a satisfying payoff, but if you pay attention to the little small talk the characters engage in, you may notice little hidden jokes all over the place, which are absolute gut busters.
I don't even carry a bag and my back's kind of,
Well, no.
bent.
At that point, you're just completely underprepared. prepared.
Got it right here.
Like, what if you, like, come across a $100 bill on the ground? Then you're not gonna have anywhere to put it.
Happening.
Well, you know, I got these like pockets.
Straight talk, jokes like that absolutely kill me, and I also have a bit of a weakness for edgy humor. And this show more than happily engages in some of the funniest, darkest humor I've ever seen.
My manifesto! It's missing!
We could probably just come back, you know, later. You don't have to leave a note.
It reminds me or harkens back to the kind of stuff we used to see a lot on YouTube back when old school Newground animators and YouTube animators kind of like dominated everything, but made more palatable through the awkward line delivery and a very natural back and forth all the characters seem to have. I would kill to watch a mainstream show that had writing that was just like this. But failing that, here's a few of my personal favorites from Bridge Kids to get started. Killer Bars is a incredibly fun episode that goes from like kind of funny, awkward, and weird to off the walls and morbid, and it switches between those extremes a few times, which had me on the floor. It's probably my favorite episode. I feel like Free Strokes, however, would probably be a better introduction if you're not looking to introduce those kinds of topics to a scene, as it can do a lot of really funny, like, bro date humor, while also keeping it within that, like, trademark awkward line delivery that the show is so well known for. And the new character that they introduce in this one carries over into the next episode I wanted to talk about, Cher Jordan's. Just the way the instructor talks, he just kills me. Every scene with this guy on camera is absolutely amazing, and I hope to see him more as they produce more.
Look, man, the amount of bravery it takes to come in here alone at night with no one watching and put in the work. I mean, man, I wish I was more like you.
The show is pretty episodic, so you can really start anywhere, but I feel like these episodes really capture the range of what Bridge Kids can be at its best.
When it comes to online animation, you have to go out of your comfort zone to find a series like this, as it's not conventionally a thing that most YouTubers make a video on. There is no deep mystery, there is no tempo or sexy man, and there are no musical numbers. Okay, unless you count this as a song.
Aha, yo, I'm the Tyler Durden of math class, but you don't know that cause you get no ass.
To venture off into the wild west that is indie animation, you will find ugly series like this. And I don't mean ugly in a bad way. The grotesque yet fun designs, the charming dialogue, and consistency in the uploading gives me something I cannot recommend enough to everyone. It is generally a shame that it took so long for people to see and appreciate such a work like this. If you want to support them, go and watch the episodes, make tweets, and even videos about it. Also go check out their Patreon, where you can get behind the scenes content and even a sticker at the highest tier. That or buy a cool shirt. You know, everyone loves a cool shirt. But like many pieces of art, all it needs is to take time to get all eyes on them. That was actually a lyric from the dead rapper Eminem, by the way.
Okay, bye.
Whoa, you Bridge Kids did it to the end of this video. If you loved it, you should like and subscribe, leave a comment if you haven't already, and maybe check out one of these videos. I mean, they're pretty good in my opinion. Until next time, don't forget to keep drawing. Like now, I mean, go drawing. I mean, if you watch this video, you have time to draw.